in the top right-hand corner, the blue Terran player. It is one of my best buddies, man. I love this guy. He goes by the name of jheffe. Jheffe in Spanish means boss.
That's my jheffe fact, is that jheffe in Spanish is boss. Which I understand his last name is actually like Hefferton or something, which I think is probably where he got it from. But I always did hope it was boss. Anyway, better introduce the other player quickly, because we got some action on the map already. Tempo spawning in the bottom left-hand side. It's our Swedish player, currently residing in Canada, I believe, with his missus. It is Namshar.
Yes.
But look at this.
Double racks coming up, baby. We haven't seen a lot of proxy 2 racks, at least from what I've been casting lately. I have not seen a lot of this. Not even, I don't think I've seen one, to be honest. This is my first one. I just had my 2 racks cherry popped.
Are we allowed to say that on the ESL channels? I don't. Anyway,
great.
Namshar has not spotted this yet, by the way. The Overlord will get there eventually, but it's going to be quite late. By the time he sees it, both these racks will be finished, and there will be Marines already on the map. Namshar has a chance of holding this, but his spawning pool's down very late, Tempo.
It is, and now he knows. Double SCVs are there, kind of in the rear with the gear, chilling. But the the Overlord knows about it. So you know what? The best part about this is that he saw that so early that he's not gonna have to deal with, say, oh, hold on, never mind. Usually the bunker finishes as like the hatchery is starting to finish too. So this is actually really good for Namshar if he reacts correctly.
And what is a correct reaction here? He's got the Roach Warren going down on the high ground. Is he just gonna sack that low ground and just mass out Ravagers?
It depends. There's multiple. Oh man, yeah, he needs to pull some drones here to not let the bunker finish, but the first bunker will finish indeed. And I don't know about this reaction. I think he either didn't take it too seriously, or he just says, hey, like you said, sacrifice the low ground for now, and then just get some roaches out.
Yeah, this feels a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but yeah, the Roach Warren was early enough. So he should be able to do it, but the Ravagers take a long time to actually make. So yeah. I think this hatchery might be in a lot of trouble here. And it could have like been mitigated if he just pulled some drones.
He's got 5 roaches on the way. Are all those going to turn into Ravagers, or just 3 or 2 or 3 of them, do you think?
I think he's going to use as much gas as he has to make Ravagers here, right? Like 75 gas per Ravager. It's going to be... Yeah, this is really, really weird. But I think, you know what, he might be okay.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and engage here onto these bunkers. Both bunkers still up. They are focus firing down the Roaches and Raptors. They have been pulled off of the natural hatchery. First bunker goes down. Second bunker going to go down as well. There are still a bunch of Marines here, but Namshar is going to lose his first Roach and a Ravager behind this attack. 2 Queens coming in. Should be able to drive this away. I think Namshar has held this despite our initial suspicions.
Oh my god, apparently I'm like really low. I didn't know if...
Sorry, no, that was my fault. I had you turned down a bit too much. I think I've got you fixed.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I feel like that was actually really, really well done by Namshar, because I freak out, right? When I see that, I overreact. And the fact that Namshar did that without actually really committing too much, he should be perfectly fine. He's down by 4 workers, sure, but he did it. He did not lose a hatchery.
He's going to chase these Marines all the way back home as well. Nice. I do like this cheeky play from jheffe, dropping the second barracks here at the 3rd location for Namshar, so he can't take a 3rd base quite as quickly. That's so catty, and I love it. But Namshar actually has a lot of army supply on the map, and this is always the danger when you go 2 racks, is that the Zerg reaction is going to be so strong. Does jheffe have anything back home to defend this? Let's count. He's got a couple Marines here. He's got a Cyclone out somewhere on the map.
That's right there. It just popped out. So he's fine. But usually you will see like a siege tank here. But I think the Cyclone is a little bit better because it does allow you to have that mobility. Because if you make a siege tank, right, you can get biled pretty easily here.
Right.
So he decided to go for the mobile unit, and I think he's not in the best spot, but he's okay. But oh man, yeah, he should be okay. But he did lose a decent amount here.
Yeah, very interesting. He didn't pull those Marines back very well. Didn't micro them quite as well as I thought he was going to, and lost actually a fair amount of Marines. 11 Marines have gone down this game, and a bunch of them were in that defense. He's down to just, what, 1 on the map right now.
Yep.
So I think that was a bit of a mistake, but otherwise he did, I think I agree with you, he did very well there, getting that Cyclone out, getting the Viking so that the Cyclone lock-on had maximum range, and just doing everything pretty much right there. I think that the Siege Tank would have been a bad choice because, of course, it would have gotten biled down pretty quickly. So jheffe defending against that aggression pretty well, and the game going to normalize a little bit with Namshar, I think, in a bit of a lead as he's already working on base number 3. jheffe just landing his natural now.
I know, and you know what? Here, Namshar going to be going ahead and getting. I believe he dropped down that Baneling nest, so he's going to go maybe into Ling Bane Muta. But Namshar is the type of player that goes more like Ling Bane Hydra for the most part, Roach Bane Ling. But yeah, I feel like he's not going to stick on roaches, right? That was only just to break down his, or rather break through the natural base, and then get a little bit of counter damage. So I like the reaction from jheffe, who's going for 3 bases. So he's not going to get very aggressive in the mid game, but he at least is setting up for a nice economical mid game to late game.
Yeah, completely agree with you. jheffe making the right calls here. And I think you're right. Namshar isn't going to stay on that Roach Ling Bane forever. He is going for +1 melee attack, indicating, of course, you're not going to stay on roaches. You mentioned Spire earlier, Tempo. Now, when there's a Viking out on the map, clear and Overlords, I always feel like Spire's a good choice because you have so little map vision, you have so little map control as a Zerg player, and that's so important. Do you think Spire's the correct choice here, or should he go for something crazy like a Hydralisk Den?
I would assume that Namshar stylistically likes to go maybe more for Hydras, but we'll find out here because he is continuing to make roaches, which is something that I did not expect. So maybe we are going to see that Roach Ravager Ling Bane style with the melee upgrades, and then use the Queen for the anti-air, right? So yeah, 10 drones coming up here. I feel like he will go into a very aggressive style with the Baneling speed coming up. Yeah, there's literally no Hydra Den. There's no lair tech aside from the Baneling speed. So,
he's made some really interesting choices this game already. I mean, for my favorite choice so far is that he's got his lair tech that he made out of that natural. The natural that got almost low, almost taken out very low from that double bunker assault at the very beginning of the game. So an odd choice there to go for the injured natural, getting that lair tech. But he's got a 4th base down now, and he's got a great worker lead here. If we look at the income graph, we can see that he's taken an income lead in the last 3 minutes or so, and that should bounce in his favor when the 4th base finishes up. Baneling speed coming out, +1/+1. Is he setting up for a +1 timing?
I'm not sure. Do you know why he actually make the lair at the natural though? Because when you actually finish the lair, it does give it a little bit more HP. So that might be what he was thinking of, but it does make it a little bit more vulnerable, doesn't it now? Right? Like imagine. And the natural base, I assume, is usually the most tucked away defensible position.
Yeah, it's hard to get into unless you're doing like some big drop play, but even then drops are easy to be spotted by the 9 o'clock 4th base that he's grabbing, which is of course normally the 3rd base. So I think it is a right call. I just thought it was really interesting. That I don't know. I'm such a worrier.
Why would he pick his most vulnerable building to make it one of the most important buildings, right? But
it's one of the reasons I'm a terrible StarCraft player, Temple, because I'm so risk averse that I'm like I can't do that. That'd be much too dangerous. When of course it's the right call. I'm really bad at judging my risk, especially in StarCraft. I think it comes from all those years I spent in the life insurance industry, where everything's all about risk, and you get very bored.
You said that you were a finance major or something like that. I'm the same way, man. Like it just wasn't working out for me. I was like, you know what? I don't think that I really fit the whole bill when it comes to finance. No. I think this is more my jam as far as commentating StarCraft 2.
Yeah, man. It took me a while to get here, but yeah, I was definitely finance. I was I worked in the insurance and investments business. I did compliance analysis, which is like the most boring.
It's horrible.
Oh,
I did accounting.
Yeah, so okay.
I graduated with finance, but I did accounting, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to like throw myself out of this world.
Yeah. So I was like an accountant for accountants, basically, telling them, you're allowed to have this word on your sign, but you can't have this other word on your sign because that violates FCC Rule 14.2.b. Oh my god, it was terrible.
I don't rock with that. Man. No.
StarCraft is a much more fitting position for both of us, Tempo. I agree.
Very much so.
Infestation Pit already down for Namshar here. He's getting a macro hatch as well. He's staying on Ling Bane for a long time, Tempo. I think we're both maybe a little surprised by this. He's got the tech like in place to move up to something, but he hasn't really committed to a tech path yet. Still just mostly Ling Bane and a handful of Ravagers out from the beginning of the game. This is not what I expected from Namshar.
No, not even at all. And I feel like he's fine with it, right? Because he's mainly focusing more on his economy. So he's going to get to that 80 drone almost. He's at 74 right now. And yes, his anti-air is lacking, but when he gets to Hive, which I think he already has, right? He does have... No, he's on Lair. No.
He's like forgotten his Hive. He built the Infestation.
So what was the point of the Infestation Pit? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very strange call from Namshar, who got the Infestation Pit down. Yeah, okay, there it is. Finally, Hive coming down, but very belated Hive tech. I'm not sure if maybe he was going to go for Ultralisks behind this, because there's no Spire, so no indication of Broodlords yet. Ultra Ling Bane would be more Namshar than just straight Ling Roach Bane, but it's going to be a while before he gets there. He's working on his 2-2, which is good. The upgrade's fairly even, but I'm curious to see what he goes for as this big push from jheffe comes down the middle of the map.
It is, and there's a lot of creep here too, so he does need to kind of chill back, take out that creep. Ling Bane is going to be able to deal with this. You know, I always say Ling Bane brings pain, all right? And the medevac count should start to get really high if jheffe continues to make them. But at the end of the day, it's more so, what are you going to do with the Hive, right? Is it going to be for 3-3, Adrenal Glands, or are you actually going to invest into the Ultras? Or Great Aspire, like you actually made a point about.
Nice snipe there on the full medevac from Namshar. But yeah, Greater Spire would be a really unusual choice at this point because there's no Spire at all. And he doesn't really have enough bulky units in his army to cover for Broodlords. I feel like if you go for Broodlords, you gotta have something up front that's gonna live for a long time. So the Broodlings have time to like get down on top of them, like more Roaches, more Ravagers. Something else up front. Ling Bane Broodlord is I think maybe a little out of fashion or not as popular as it once was.
No, and you know what? Usually what I would do against like tank, Broodlords are gonna reign supreme, but jheffe is gonna be going for Widowmines, so I don't think we're gonna be seeing the Broodlords, or at least they're not gonna be as effective. But I mean, god damn, dude, Burrow coming out from Namshar means that he might try to do some Burrow Baneling shenanigans, maybe even taking a Ling to every one of the bases that jheffe would like to take. But damn, son. Yeah, damn, Shar, I should say.
Nice. Yeah, Tempo, I know this is the first time we've ever actually cast together. I don't know if we mentioned that. It was the first opportunity.
It is.
We were on the Pylon show together a while ago, but I haven't ever had the chance to cast a real game with you. So you may not know this, but Burrowed Banelings are like my second favorite unit in StarCraft of all time. Any game that has Burrowed Banelings, I'm a huge fan. Concussive Shell Marauders.
Okay.
Love them. Absolutely love them.
Well, you like Concussive Shell Marauders more than Burrowed Banes, really?
I do. I think they're awesome. They're dope as hell, man. Anyway, so if we see some Burrowed Banelings, I'm going to be real happy. But I think our postulations were correct. It does look like we are going to see that Ultralisk Cavern coming down in the natural. Namshar going Ling Bane Ultra. Is that the right call right now against what jheffe's army comp looks like?
I'm not sure. I think jheffe actually reacted well. He started making Marauders a lot earlier than the Ultras were even in production. So what happened was that like he saw the Hive and then he was like, okay, it's probably going to be Ultras because I'm not going for tank. So he started to preemptively do it. And you see different people or different Terran players kind of react differently. So they'll either go for Ghost, Liberators with range. But in this scenario, we're going to see that it's going to be Marauders. And look at this production tab from Namshar. Spire, Ultras, Vipers, 3-3, Adrenal Glands, what is it? Chitinous Plating. Everything is coming out here.
Yeah, he's like he's one of those guys who's won a shopping spree on TV, and he's just gonna like go down the grocery aisle with his arm just behind all the cereal boxes, just funneling them all into his cart, you know, getting the one of everything built. But starting with 5 Ultras, I love the idea of Namshar of like doing the surprise switch. You know, if you send out all your Ultras and they die to the Marauders that are out here, then the next time your opponent attacks, surprise, it's Broodlords. And of course, those Broodlings are going to be terrifying with 3-3 on the way. But 3-3's already finished up for jheffe here. And with the Marina Marauder count that he's got going down, 10 and 32, I think he's going to be in decent shape against these Ultralisks who don't quite yet have speed or chitinous plating.
No, they don't. And not even the, what is it, anabolic?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, the one that lets them be a little bit faster.
I called it speed, but if you want to be fancy and get the real name Tempo and just outshine me as a caster, you're more than welcome to.
I know, right? Anytime you have a 4-syllable word when it comes down to an upgrade, then you clearly have made it an SC2. But with the Blinding Clouds coming up here from Namshar, it seems like jheffe is not really well equipped to deal with this army.
Yeah, he does get a fairly reasonable trade there. I'm a little surprised at how well that went for our boy Namshar. I definitely thought it was going to be worse than that. But jheffe actually evening up the army supply after being behind by about 30 army supply. And so even though Namshar is in the economic lead and he's picked off a lot of SCVs in these last couple attacks, there's still a sizable army on the field for jheffe, and we can't quite count that out yet.
No, absolutely not. But the creep spread is so good from Namshar that jheffe, you know, every one of these pushes is going to favor Namshar. There's no way. Yeah, even with the blinding clouds, man, Namshar, he's feeling pretty comfortable. Like, nothing is going to be able to really threaten him as long as that creep is there. And now look at that, almost overstimming. The medevacs are getting low on energy. It seems like Namshar is going to push jheffe all the way back. The Lings are going to surround, and that's going to be it, man. GG.
Beautifully done by Namshar, who grabs game number 1. Tempo, you stole the words right out of my mouth. That's how you know you're casting with a good co-caster. If they say exactly what you wanted to say 10 seconds before you say it. The Marines overstimmed, the medevacs out of energy, and Namshar on that last engagement just wrapping the Lings around the Marine. They couldn't retreat any further. Beautifully executed by Namshar, and no surprises, Namshar grabs game number 1, but jheffe putting up a very good fight there in our first game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, you know, it's more so about like, how do you deal with the hive transition? So some people like the Ghost, like I said. Some people like the Range Liberators, but some people just make a bunch of Marauders, and then it's like, okay, well, you're Maru.
Yeah, go for those either gold level strats or top level GSL strats, because they're the same strat, which is just Marine Printer goes brrr, keeps kicking them out. I like the play from jheffe. It was a good attempt, but Namshar just so good. Those Banelings, terrifying.
I love the wrap. Yeah, the wraparound with the Lings was really impressive there. But it just, I don't know. It seemed like the creep spread did not really get dealt with at all in the mid game. So I feel like jheffe maybe wanted to kind of get rid of that creep a little bit earlier, because by the time that he wanted to attack, it's like everything, you know.
he knew where he was all the time. Yeah. You mentioned it several times in the cast. I never ping-ponged it back to you, but absolutely a great call there. The creep spread from Namshar, so valuable.
Really
Man, especially when you're playing against a Marine Marauder, like any bio style, where there are going to be like drops and little battalions of Marines in various places on the map. If you can keep an eye on those without, you know, patrolling Lings all the time and microing crap around, creep spread is so understated, and it's so good of you to call it out, because it's a hard thing to do correctly, and Namshar did it really well.
And I think jheffe, like with the Widowmine style, it's better against that. But if you go tank, it's even worse. So the fact that jheffe still lost after that, ooh, I'll tell you right now, when you try to push with tanks, it's not fun when the creep is that at least that present on the map. So let's go ahead and introduce these two awesome players here.
Absolutely. Spawning the bottom left-hand side in the red, it is our Swedish Zerg player currently residing in Canada. His name is Namshar.
And in the top right-hand corner, going to be our blue Terran player. It is going to be jheffe.
You know, I haven't had a chance to look at the results from Group B yet, or we haven't had a chance to talk about the results from Group B yet.
Oh, we were going to.
Man, we got right in the game just as our commercial break ended, so we didn't have much time. But while these players are starting out with their builds, which look much more standard this game, we got a barracks in the main for jheffe, and Namshar going for what looks to be a hatch gas pool. Tempo, can you tell us a little about what's going down in Group B right now, and what these players need to do to secure their spot in, hopefully, the top 2 positions in this group?
Well, I don't know the actual score right now, and like what. Well, Namshar obviously up by 1 right now. I don't actually know their group scores.
I got the standings pulled up on my other monitor here. Let me run down and tell you what's going on. So this group, as almost as stacked as Group A is, it's so good. Right now, there's a 3-way tie for first place. Future, Namshar, and Estrella all at 2 match wins.
Wow.
4-1, 4-1 for Namshar and Estrella, and Future has not dropped a map yet at 4-0. And then we've got 2 players in the middle. Young kid. Yeah. We got 2 players in the middle tied up at 1-1 right now, which is Nina and Semper. Nina and Semper in the middle spots 4 and 5. And then in the bottom side of the map, we have 3 players at 0-2. It's Jon Snow, Vindicta, and jheffe. Jon Snow's grabbed 1 map win, but Vindicta and jheffe are actually 0-2 right now. Not a single map win in the entire tournament.
All right, well, jheffe, yeah, then after that, I would say that he needs to win this one right here, right? Like, to even have a chance as far as, I don't know, the rest of his group seems to be pretty solid right now. And jheffe is like one of those players that is, he's up there, but you say Nina, you know, you see a lot of these players that like have a little bit more pull whenever it comes down to actually, this game as far as a name.
Yeah.
Like you recognize the names a little bit more, like when you say Nina or you say jheffe, or rather Namshar.
Future.
Right?
You ever heard of that guy?
Estrella. That guy's a pretty good guy, right? Max Angel. Are you kidding me?
What a dope ass name.
It's one of those things where it's like jheffe does need to he needs to turn up here, and you know he can't just play it. And I like that. I like the fact that he went for the double racks earlier in game 1. But damn, Namshar was so solid.
It reminds me of what we saw in our PvP earlier with Creature and Disc, where we were like, well, where Creature was like, well, I got to try something crazy to try, to unseat Disc here, to make something big happen. Well, before we get too far into the game, I did want to wrap up our discussion about Group B. We see the 1-1-1 from jheffe and just the third base down for Namshar. So very economic openings from both players. In case you haven't been tuning in to DreamHack, pardon me, if you haven't been tuning into DreamHack for the entire time, these are 8-player groups. And the top 2 players in each group, so the top players based on match score, and then I think it's then map score, and then head-to-head. Top 2 players go into the winner's bracket of the semifinals, and then the players in the 3rd and 4th position go down into basically the loser's bracket of the semifinals and just have to fight their way through that loser's bracket. So those top 2 positions, very coveted, and of course the bottom 4 players do head down out of the tournament, take their winnings.
Oh, I love it. QXC Hellions coming through, Creighton, and they're going to go right into the natural base. Gonna get some damage done here. 3 workers already go down, but the Lings are gonna get a good surround on all of those Hellions, and they will get taken out. So that was actually really, really well done by Namshar.
Great call,
because
thank you.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
I was getting so deep. I was like, man, this is an interesting tournament, and the format's cool. And you were like, hang on, actual StarCraft is happening. Hang on, bro. Hang on. So decent damage, but not great damage. Only 3 drone kills there at the cost of 4 Hellions and a Reaper. So usually I think, I don't know about experts, but most StarCraft people I talk to are usually say, the number of drone kills you want to get is 6, 7, maybe 8 to make that worth it. 3 seems a little bit low.
It is very low, and usually you want to double the amount of minerals investment. So like if you have 6 Hellions, you want to get like 12 drones, right? If you have 3 Hellions, and you want to get 6 drones, but usually it tends to be a little bit more, and you want to time it with the Banshee that comes. So yeah, sure, yeah, the Spore Crawler's a little bit late, and Cloak is done. So he needs to actually he's going for the Queen Zone.
Queen's gonna draw him into a trap here. The Banshee's gonna go down, and the Hellion's gonna arrive a moment too late here. Namshar will pull, and he's gonna lose 8 drones total. That's not bad, actually. This is the counter damage he needed.
That's good. Absolutely. And even though he lost a Hellions, 10 drones, not bad, but you have to understand that also the Banshee died as well. So it wasn't like the 6 Hellions went in, or rather the 3 Hellions went in and got that. The Banshee got like 4 of those, I believe. So
yeah, if you punch that L button and look at the resources lost tab, you'll see that was a very costly attack for our Terran player, down about 1/3 more resources than Namshar has right now. But jheffe behind this, adding on barracks number 4 and 5. He's got his stim on the way. Should be going for combat shields soon. He's got that spare tech lab. I don't know what he's waiting on at that other barrack.
Ooh, fire coming up from Namshar. Remember when I was talking about like him going Hydra Bane?
Yeah.
I was completely wrong. I feel like Namshar has definitely changed up at least the way that he plays. Gonna be going for the mutas, and I love it, man. Lingbane Muta is one of my favorite compositions ever since even like Wings of Liberty. Oh, it's just, I don't know, I just feel some type of way every single time.
Well, it's a terrifying composition to play against. If you stay Lingbane as a Terran player, if your opponent's going Lingbane, you've got options, right? You can always drop all the time, and you can trade efficiently with drops. So if your micro and map awareness are good, you can find value if your opponent's just on Lingbane. Once those Mutalisks are into the fight, the whole thing changes, and you've got to like commit to those drops.
And you know what else? The 4th base being taken by Namshar, he actually already preemptively made the gases, so he's gonna pretty much go pretty heavily on the mutas here, right? Because before saturating that 4th base, he's gonna be able to go ahead and get the gas.
No question.
And that means that he wants to make a lot of mutas. So we're gonna see a lot of mutas coming out here, Creighton.
Yeah, and not just the, a lot of times when I see a Spire going down, one of the things you usually say to tell people to watch out for is, hey, look at how many minerals and gas he's got as soon as the Spire pops, because that's how many mutas he's gonna make right off the bat. You want 10 mutas right away. Namshar a little low on gas, only starting with about 6 mutas. He's got 7 on the way now, but grabbing those extra gases means that he's probably intending to commit these mutas long term, which is I think what you were talking about.
Exactly. Absolutely. So that's like, he had a low amount of gas earlier on, but getting the gas at the 4th base like really early means that he's not going to go in, I would say, the Ling department on the ground like too hard, but he wants to get the mutas out. This is like a Vibe style. I don't know if you know Vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is what Vibe likes to do, man. He gets a lot of mutas out, and upgrading them, it's so it's disgusting if you're able to get that critical mass. Yep.
Yeah. Critical mass is the right word. 5, 6 mutas is not that terrifying. We saw him get chased away from the main base of Namshar, not doing that much damage. Ooh, nice cancel on that fifth base, though.
Yep.
Oh man, good spot here for jheffe.
Yeah, let's give jheffe some drops here. Yeah, we have to give jheffe some drops here. The way that he's going in, he's going to kill all of these queens. That medevac might go down, it will, and the Banes come up, but he does evacuate into that medevac, goes into the main base, but what do we have? The mutas are not out yet. Wait, where are the mutas, actually? I thought they were,
They're coming back to deal with it, yeah. The mutas are here, but they're going to eat some damage as well. Not great control from Namshar. Going to lose one muta. A second one very low right now. But as we said, once you've got the mutas out, you can't really commit to these drops. Or you have to commit to these drops a little more heavily. You can't just like pick up and fly out because they will.
Yeah, because usually you assume that the medevac is going to die, right?
Right.
So, but there are players, Terran players, that actually don't care that mutas are on the map, and they still will drop like pretty heavily. But like I said, the gases being taken at the 4th means that, yeah, 7 mutas in production. Oh no, jheffe gonna lose that medevac.
Snipes, so. And that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, you gotta make sure those drops are either gonna happen or they're gonna die. And running away from it is a really ineffective way to use those Marines. You'll usually see more experienced players just leave the Marines on the ground and try and get the medevacs out
and just kill as many. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Trying to think of the right metaphor, but take as many down with them as they can before they die. It's like a zombie movie where the hot girl like grabs a crowbar and she's like, "I'm just gonna go in.
You're coming with me. If I'm going down, you're coming with me." And it's like, that's literally it, right? Like you have to.
That's right. And so we're gonna see here in this attack in the top side where the 9 o'clock where we saw that medevac go down right away. But that's gonna open the path. Namshar out of position, and jheffe might be able to get a kill on this base down here if the banelings don't get him first.
Oh! Whoa! Hey, big difference here in this game for jheffe. He's going for tanks rather than widow mines. He does have a few widow mines here, but I feel like he was actually going for tanks a bit more, but I do believe that he stopped that tank production. So we are going to see more widow mines here as you identify it being Ling Bane Muta.
Yeah.
So against Hydra Bane, usually you will actually go for a little bit more tanks, but this is it. Then once the boost runs out, drop it, jheffe, drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it.
Isn't that an achievement in StarCraft? Drop it like it's hot, where if you pick up a drop. I think so. I can't remember what it is. It's some multiplayer achievement where if you pick up as Terran, if you pick up a drop while your medevac's super low or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think, yep.
Man, another drop here. Some widow mines going down. Namshar not going to pull from the 9 o'clock base there. 6-11 drones getting picked off. That's going to be a late response. Namshar actually, I think, was posturing for a bit of an attack outside jheffe's 3rd base, or 4th base rather. But he's going to be forced to bring all those units back home to deal with it. +2 on the way for those mutas. What do you think about this, though? And the infestation pit down.
24 mutas on the map with +2 is terrifying.
Oh, jeez. Now, as you said
I'm not gonna lie, they can kill turrets super fast. Maneuver lines get obliterated. Oh boy, I am actually very worried for jheffe, even though he's making some really good plays. I don't think that 24 mutas is something that he can actually deal with right now.
Especially not when he's got all these lings on the bottom side as well. Is he going for the dual pronged harass? No, he's not quite. Just mutas into the main. But look at that. As you said, Tempo, the missile turret down instantaneously. 10, 11, 12 SCVs going to drop like flies. And interestingly, Namshar not attacking into the 3rd base. I thought he was going to do some dual pronged harass there, but he's choosing to save those lings and baits back home. What an odd choice.
Yeah, I agree, but I think he noticed that it was a planetary, right? So he was like, 5 widow mines with drilling claws right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he sent one ling there and like tested the waters, but you can't break a planetary unless you like have a sick economy and then you inefficiently trade against it.
Sure.
So it's more so like, you know what, Namshar says, okay, I'm fine. I don't need to do this. I've already got some good damage done with the mutas. And now here I go. I'm gonna go ahead and get my hive tech. Oh my god, though. Oh, he's only getting +1 armor. Oh, that was actually for the mutas, not the, I thought that was his ground. I thought he had +1 armor for the ground. I was like, Carapace, oh my god.
Well, no wonder Namshar's not trading very well this game. Well, 3-3 is about to finish for jheffe, so he is going to be 1 full upgrade round ahead of his opponent. And he's got a lot of army supply on the map right now, so he's been doing the classic Terran thing where you trade up your economy in the middle of the game, and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to make SCVs between minutes 10 and 15. There's no reason. I'm just going to make Marines push across the map and do economic damage in proportion to the economy that I've not been doing. But Namshar might be able to get some damage. Oh, man, there's just so many missile turrets here. And a Widowmine sopping up those mutilates as well.
Go down.
Dang.
Oh my god, look at how fast these turrets go down. And here we go. SCVs, they don't have an air attack, by the way, and he's going to target down the orbital command. The glaive worms are going to be able to take out some of those SCVs as they do damage to the orbital command. And down goes the orbital command. And Namshar's mute count is at that critical mass. But jheffe is actually getting some great damage done here, killing that base. But it's only an auxiliary base, right? Like, it's not like one of those bases that really mattered, I would say. So...
Auxiliary base is a great way to describe it, Tempo. You know, way outside of the army with another big engagement here going down. Bailing's gonna get some good shots off. Hang on, though. Oh my god, terrible splitting from jheffe there. He loses an awful lot of army supply. There's a Thor here to chase away the Mutas, but the Mutas aren't concerned about the Thor all the way across the map. They're cleaning out the main base right now, picking off reinforcements and making it much, much harder for jheffe to continue this pressure on the south side of the map.
It is, right? And the creep spread is really a huge factor. Oh my god, there's a bee in my room.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, if Tempo dies, guys, we'll know what happened.
Murder hornet. What is it?
Oh, yeah, the murder hornets. Oh, God, I hope you don't have those. You're in Massachusetts. You're fine.
Right. Yeah, I should be all right. But either way, yeah, like you said, I think the creep spread is really going to be saving Namshar here. Oh, wait! Widowmine shots! Oh, lordy lord. But the medevacs are screwed. They're going to get taken out here. And that's a lot of gas. And that's going to be it. Wow, Namshar. Very solid play. And he's going to be able to take out